We've all seen films or posters or propaganda of various kinds about this business of road safety. And we've heard it suggested, usually quite wrongly, that a lot of this propaganda is put out by ministries or officials who've never ridden a motorcycle in their lives. So we'd like to emphasize right at the start that this is a film about motorcycling that's made entirely by motorcyclists, written and produced by motorcyclists, photographed by motorcyclists, and acted entirely by motorcyclists who you'll see in a moment arriving for their daily work as motorcycle repairers, testers, salesmen and the like. Nobby Clark, motorcycle club official. Bill Quinn, TT replica winner, Brooklands record holder, seasoned veteran and everyday rider for over 30 years. Eric Wilson, twice a gold medal winner in the International 6 Days Trial. Keith Walker, trials rider and short circuit racer. Ken Morris, Isle of Man TT rider. And the rest, more than 50 keen everyday motorcyclists. All these experienced men are fond of motorcycle sport in one form or another, trials or racing, solo or with sidecar, but they all confine their spectacular riding to the proper place, the racetrack or the trial section. On public roads you can find a quieter or less conspicuous bunch of riders, and they often have a quiet smile when they see a noisy rider showing off on the road. This kind of demonstration's a poor advertisement for the rider and for the whole motorcycling movement. Before we go on to show you a few riding hints, we'd like to mention that in the course of this film we've staged a few crashes. We've done this partly to help illustrate certain points and partly to make it more interesting. But because of these fake accidents, don't run away with the idea that motorcycling's a dangerous pastime. There's nothing dangerous about this. Any possible danger depends on the user. And this, remember, is a lethal weapon, if you like to use it that way. More pedestrians become road casualties than any other class of road user, not just because there are more of them, but because they're more vulnerable. This kind of thing happens daily. And the pedestrian usually comes off worst. Pedal cyclists and motorcyclists are vulnerable too, so it's up to them to take extra care to keep out of trouble. And we're going to try to show you how, by demonstrating some of the things we've learnt the hard way from actual experience. And remember that every single one of the incidents you're going to see isn't just a theoretical possibility. It's something that's actually happened to one of us or to someone we know during long years of hard riding. First, we'll deal with maintenance. A good rider keeps his machine in safe, roadworthy condition. Look after the brakes. Keep both brakes in good adjustment. Take care of the control cables. Watch the brake cable here and replace it if it shows signs of fraying. Otherwise, when you pull it hard in an emergency, this is what's likely to happen. Watch the throttle cable too. We can remember nasty experiences when the throttle's stuck open, and we've learned to give regular attention to the cable and to renew it at the first signs of wear. A badly adjusted chain can cause a bad moment if it comes off and wraps itself round your rear wheel. Don't ride with a chain like this. Adjust it until there's only the right amount of slack, like this. Check your tyre pressures. Wrong pressures cause unsteady steering. And after all, it's not a lot of trouble to inflate a soft tyre, provided your lungs are in good condition. And don't ride a yard with a cut tyre. Bald tyres like this encourage skidding and in any case cause frequent punctures. Bad tyres are a nuisance and a danger. Renew them before they're too far gone. Test the lights and pay particular attention to the dip beam. See that it dips properly and adjust the settings so that you don't cause dazzle. Now a few points about clothing. The experienced rider invests in hard-wearing, practical gear. No need to try to be glamorous like this. A good, strong, waterproof coat's the main essential, preferably on the large side, so as to tuck well in round the knees. And tough, sensible gloves, and it's a good tip to sew on a scrap of wash leather for wiping rain off goggles. This type of glove, treated with a reflecting material, will help to make sure that your hand signals are visible by day or night. In really bad weather, these waders help to keep the shoes and trousers clean and dry. If you wear a scarf, tuck it well in. A loose scarf or a trailing belt can cause trouble if it catches in the chain. Another tip, a towel round the neck soaks up rain. And if you're caught with a thin coat, a thick wad of paper helps to keep out the wind. When choosing goggles, get a pair with a wide field of vision, so that you can see things out of the corner of your eye, like these. And quite apart from the obvious protection in an emergency, a well-made protective helmet keeps you warm and dry. For safety and comfort, this type of headgear is the choice of the expert. Motorcycles, if in good condition, aren't difficult to start if you know how. Don't kick away like this. Get an expert to teach you the knack. First, see that the petrol's turned on at the tap, and see that it's getting through to the carburetor by feeling the tickler. Switch on, in the case of coil ignition models, set the twist grip slightly open and give a good swinging kick. And when the engine's started, don't start off suddenly without warning or without looking. Look round and wait till it's safe. If it won't start on the kickstarter, don't try pushing unless you've practiced first in a quiet spot. This shot's based on an actual incident where a machine ran away with its pusher and injured some pedestrians. By clear hand signals and correct positioning of his machine in the roadway, the expert rider always makes his intentions obvious. Other traffic is never left in doubt. I am going to turn to my right is this, with a glance to make sure that it's safe to turn. Not this. A vague signal like this is all too common and it's worse than useless. I am going to turn to my left is this. Not this. I am ready to be overtaken is this. Not this. I am going to slow down or stop is this. And this signal's very often used wrongly. Use it sparingly. Here's a case where it's useful. The rider's telling traffic behind that he's going to slow down unexpectedly. And at pedestrian crossings, it's a good thing to let other drivers and pedestrians know that you intend to slow down. But if you're pulling into the curb, this overtake signal is much more helpful. And this slowing down signal does not mean I am telling other drivers to slow down, as this young rider seems to think. There's no such signal. You'll notice that none of these signals in the highway code is an instruction to anyone else. They're all merely a signal of your intentions. That is the driver's intentions, not the passenger's. So please ask the passenger to leave all signals to you. But just giving a signal isn't the whole story of making a turn. Correct road positioning is equally important. Making a right turn, the experienced man filters to the crown of the road, or the right-hand side of the road in the case of a one-way street. Leaving the left of the road clear for other traffic which may want to go straight on. It's much the same with a left turn. Filter to the near side well in advance, a clear signal, and it all looks very easy. These novices, with their poor road positioning and no proper signal, leave other drivers in doubt as to what they intend to do. At crossroads or road intersections of any kind, the seasoned rider's always on his guard. But it's not only the major junctions that call for care. These minor crossings where there's nothing to indicate which is the major road are often more dangerous. And it's worth noting that at places like this, the seasoned racing man is noticeably slower than the novice. And make allowance for the fact that a driver of a closed van can't always see you, such as at this kind of junction where the motorcycle's on the van driver's blind side. And don't be encouraged to cross just because a passer-by waves you on. Always be cautious about signals given by pedestrians. They can't be relied on. And in these cases, the pedestrian's invariably missing if there's an accident. Hey you, come back. At this next crossing, watch those pedestrians. Their actions give a warning. Watch the pedestrians again. This is a better sign. A halt sign means halt. The law says you must come to a complete and absolute stop just before the line. And that's exactly what the wise rider does, even when it seems unnecessary. Just slowing down isn't enough. And when you're on the major road, keep a sharp eye on all side roads. Other drivers don't always halt when they should. And blaming the other fellow isn't much help. You don't see the experts shouting and bawling like this.